Picture this, you're about to step into a high-stakes business meeting. The room is filled with sharp suits, sharper minds, and the faint smell of overpriced coffee. You've got 1 minute, just 60 seconds, to make an impression so good that even 𝐦𝐢𝐵𝐭 would nod in approval. But here's the kicker, if you blow it, you might as well be talking to a wall. Welcome to the make or break world of business communication, where the first minute is your golden ticket to either glory or, well, let's just say, awkward silence. As Mark Twain once said, the right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause. And trust me, timing is everything. In this roller coaster of a blink, we're diving headfirst into the art of nailing that crucial first minute. Think of it as the opening scene of a blockbuster movie. If it doesn't grab you, you're already reaching for the popcorn and zoning out. You'll learn how to craft a killer opening that's clearer than a crystal ball and sharper than a stand-up comedian's punchline. Because let's face it, no one wants to sit through a monologue that feels like watching paint dry. The goal? To set the tone so perfectly that your audience is hanging onto your every word, wondering if you've secretly been coached by Oprah. But wait, there's more. You'll also discover the magic of structured summaries. Think of them as the Swiss Army knife of communication. They slice through complexity, chop up confusion, and serve up clarity on a silver platter. Whether you're explaining why your company's profits are down, blame it on the coffee budget, or pitching the next big thing since sliced bread, these summaries will keep your audience engaged and nodding along like bobbleheads. As Albert Einstein wisely said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. And let's be real, no one wants to be the person who sounds like they're reading the terms and conditions of a software update. Now, let's talk about time checks. No, this isn't about asking your watch if it's happy hour yet, though that's always a valid question. It's about making sure your message lands at the right moment. Imagine trying to sell ice to an Eskimo in the middle of a snowstorm. Bad timing, right? The same goes for business communication. You'll learn how to validate your points and ensure your message is as timely as a trending meme. Because nothing says "I've got this" like delivering the perfect line at the perfect moment. It's like being the Shakespeare of spreadsheets. And here's the best part, these strategies aren't just for face-to-face meetings. Oh no, they're versatile enough to work in emails, presentations, and even those dreaded Zoom calls where everyone's secretly checking their own reflection. By mastering these techniques, you'll become the communication equivalent of a Swiss watch, precise, reliable, and always on point. Your professional reputation will soar higher than a caffeine-fueled startup founder on pitch day. So, are you ready to transform your business conversations from May to marvelous? Buckle up, because we're about to take your communication skills to the next level. As the great Maya Angelou once said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And with these tools in your arsenal, you'll leave them feeling impressed, inspired, and maybe even a little entertained. Let's get started. Your audience, and your career, will thank you. About the author. Chris Fanning is a recognized expert in business communication and a best-selling author dedicated to enhancing professional interactions. His books, including Effective Emails, The Secret to Straightforward Communication at Work, offer practical strategies for improving workplace communication. Fanning's work is widely praised for its clarity, actionable advice, and real-world applicability. Chapter 1: Mastering Business Communication, The Power of Framing for Clarity and Impact. Picture this, you stride into a meeting armed with updates so crucial they could redefine an entire project. You start speaking, but within minutes, your audience's faces morph into a sea of confusion. Hands shoot up, and questions fly about points you haven't even reached yet. What went wrong? Spoiler alert, it's not your dazzling personality, it's poor framing. Now, imagine starting that same meeting by saying, "We're here to discuss Project X, need a decision on the budget, and the immediate issue is a delayed milestone." Boom. In 15 seconds, you've set the stage, grabbed attention, and avoided the chaos. That, my friend, is the magic of framing. As Oscar Wilde once said, "Be yourself, everyone else is already taken." But in business, be clear, everyone else is already confused. Framing isn't just a fancy buzzword, it's the Swiss Army knife of communication. Whether you're delivering a formal presentation or having a quick chat by the water cooler, framing ensures your message lands with the precision of a laser beam. It's made up of 3 key ingredients: context, intent, and key message. Think of it as the recipe for a Michelin-starred conversation. First, context sets the table. It's the what and why of your discussion, like naming the project or topic. Without it, your audience is lost. like a GPS without satellite signal. Next up is intent, the so what of your communication. Are you seeking a decision, providing an update, or rallying the troops for a deadline push? Being upfront about your intent is like giving your audience a roadmap. It tells them where you're headed and how they can help. For instance, if you're about to drop the bombshell that a milestone is slipping, stating your intent early prepares your team to process the news without spiraling into panic. As Benjamin Franklin wisely noted, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. And in business, failing to frame is failing to communicate. The pièce de resistance of framing is the key message. This is the golden nugget, the headline, the drop the mic moment of your communication. It's the one thing your audience must remember, delivered early and clearly. For example, if a critical deadline is at risk, lead with that. It's like starting a movie with an explosion. It grabs attention and sets the tone for what's to come. By front-loading your key message, you ensure your audience knows what's important and stays engaged. Now, let's put this into practice. Imagine you're updating your team on multiple projects. Start by saying, I have updates on 3 projects, each requiring different actions. Then, frame each project individually. First, Project X needs a decision on the budget today. This approach keeps your messages crisp, clear, and digestible. It's like serving a 3-course meal instead of dumping everything on the table at once. Your team will thank you, and you'll avoid the dreaded "can you repeat that?" chorus. Mastering framing is like unlocking a superpower. It transforms your communication from meandering monologues to laser-focused dialogues. It saves time, reduces misunderstandings, and keeps your audience engaged. As Maya Angelou famously said, people will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. With framing, you'll make them feel informed, empowered, and ready to act. So, the next time you walk into a meeting, remember, the first 15 seconds can make or break you. Frame it right, and you'll own the room. But wait, there's more. In the next section, you'll discover how structured summaries can take your communication game to the next level. Stay tuned, it's about to get even better. Chapter 2: Mastering Structured Summaries, the GPS Method for Clear and Impactful Communication. Imagine this: you're standing in front of your team, ready to unveil a groundbreaking new software implementation. You've got slides, data, and a vision that could revolutionize the company. But as you dive into the technical specs, you notice your audience's eyes glazing over like donuts at a bakery. Sound familiar? It's a classic case of too much, too soon. What if there was a way to hook your audience from the start and keep them engaged? Enter the art of structured summaries, your secret weapon for clear, compelling communication. As Albert Einstein once said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. And let's be honest, no one wants to be the person who turns a presentation into a snooze fest. Structured summaries are built around a simple yet powerful framework, the GPS method: goal, problem, solution. Think of it as your communication navigation system, guiding your audience through the twists and turns of your message without getting lost. First, define the goal. What are you trying to achieve? For example, if you're introducing new software, your goal might be to streamline operations and boost efficiency. This sets the destination for your conversation. Next, identify the problem. What's standing in the way of achieving that goal? Maybe your current system is slower than a sloth on a coffee break, causing delays and frustration. Highlighting the problem creates urgency and shows your audience why change is necessary. Finally, propose the solution. How will the new software solve these issues? This is where you shine, offering a clear path forward. By framing your message this way, you transform a potentially overwhelming topic into a digestible, actionable narrative. One of the biggest mistakes in workplace communication is the urge to dump every detail up front. It's like serving a 5-course meal all at once, overwhelming and hard to digest. Instead, the GPS method keeps your message focused and purposeful. Start with a big picture, then zoom in on specifics only when needed. For instance, instead of diving into the nitty-gritty of software features, begin by stating the goal, the problem, and how the software solves it. This approach keeps your audience engaged and aligned with your objectives. Applying the GPS method means flipping the script from detail first to solution first. Imagine you're leading a meeting about a delayed project. Instead of rehashing every misstep, start by stating the goal. For example, we need to deliver this project by the new deadline. The problem, we're behind due to resource constraints. And the solution, we're reallocating team members to meet the timeline. This shift not only saves time but also keeps the conversation productive and forward-looking. The beauty of the GPS method is that it works for even the most complex topics. Whether you're discussing budget cuts, technical challenges, or strategic pivots, this framework helps you distill your message into something clear and actionable. It's not about oversimplifying, it's about making the path from problem to solution so obvious that your audience can't help but follow. As Maya Angelou famously said, "People will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel." With the GPS method, you'll leave them feeling informed, inspired, and ready to act. By mastering structured summaries, you'll transform your communication style from meandering to magnetic. You'll spend less time backtracking and more time driving toward meaningful outcomes. So, the next time you're tasked with explaining a complex project, remember, GPS. Define the goal, articulate the problem, and propose the solution. Your audience will thank you, and your message will stick like glue. But wait, there's more. To ensure your message lands perfectly, you'll also need to master timely validation and effective time checks. Stay tuned, we'll dive into those next. Your communication game is about to level up. Chapter 3: Mastering Workplace Communication, Time Checks and Validation for Productive Conversations. Picture this: you approach a colleague with what seems like a quick question, "Do you have a minute?" But before you know it, your minute spirals into a 20-minute monologue, leaving your colleague glancing at the clock and mentally drafting their escape plan. Sound familiar? It's a classic workplace faux pas, one that can disrupt schedules and strain relationships. The secret to avoiding this? It's not just what you say, but when and how you say it. Effective communication starts with ensuring your audience is ready and available to listen. As Benjamin Franklin wisely said, "Lost time is never found again." And in the workplace, lost time can mean lost opportunities. The first rule of thumb is to ditch the vague "got a minute?" and replace it with a clear time check. If your discussion will take 10 minutes, say so up front. "Hey, do you have 10 minutes to discuss the new project timeline?" This simple shift sets expectations, respects your colleague's time, and prevents those awkward mid-conversation interruptions. It's like giving someone a heads up before dropping by their desk. It's polite, professional, and shows you value their schedule. Once you've set the stage with a time check, it's time for a validation checkpoint. After framing your conversation and summarizing your key points, pause to confirm two things: is this the right person to help you, and do they still have the bandwidth to engage? A quick, "Does this still work for you, or should we find a better time?" can save you both from a conversation that's doomed from the start. After all, there's no point pitching a brilliant idea to someone who's mentally juggling 3 other urgent tasks. These steps might seem small, but their impact is huge. By clarifying the time needed and validating your listeners' availability, you ensure your conversations are focused and productive. Plus, you avoid the dreaded scenario of trapping someone in a discussion they're not ready for, a move that can leave both parties frustrated and wasting precious time. As Maya Angelou once said, "People will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel." And nothing feels worse than being cornered in a conversation you didn't sign up for. In the end, effective workplace communication isn't just about sharing information, it's about creating the right conditions for that information to be heard and acted upon. By mastering time checks and validation, you not only enhance the quality of your interactions but also build a reputation as a thoughtful and efficient communicator. So, the next time you approach a colleague, remember, a little clarity and consideration go a long way. Now that you've got framing, structured summaries, and timing down, it's time to bring it all together. In the final section, we'll explore how to apply these techniques in real-world scenarios. Stay tuned, your communication skills are about to reach new heights. Chapter 4: Mastering Workplace Communication, Strategies for Clarity and Impact Across All Platforms. How do you tackle the universal challenge of improving communication in the workplace, whether it's through emails, meetings, or instant messages? The answer lies not in how much you say, but in how clearly and strategically you say it. From crafting the perfect email to leading a high-stakes meeting, the way you structure your message can mean the difference between clarity and chaos. As George Bernard Shaw once quipped, "The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place." Let's make sure your messages don't just land, they stick. Emails are the workhorses of workplace communication, but they're often riddled with ambiguity. The key to a great email? Start with a subject line that sets the context and an opening line that states your intent. Then, structure the body with bullet points that outline the goal, problem, and solution. This approach not only makes your email easy to scan but also respects the recipient's time. Think of it as giving them a roadmap, They'll know exactly where you're headed and why. When it comes to meetings, clarity begins with the invitation. A well-crafted invite should spell out the purpose and expected outcome up front. This ensures everyone knows why they're there and what's expected of them, saving precious time that might otherwise be wasted on clarifications. And for presentations, kick things off with a concise summary that outlines the context, goal, and problem. This sets the stage for a focused discussion and keeps your audience engaged from the get-go. Instant messaging may feel informal, but that's no excuse for sloppy communication. Even in quick exchanges, a clear intent and a brief summary can prevent misunderstandings and endless back and forth. For example, instead of typing, "Can we talk?" try, "Got 5 minutes to discuss the budget for Project X? Need your input on a potential issue." It's a small change that makes a big difference. Whether you're answering impromptu questions in an interview or escalating an issue to higher-ups, structured communication is your best friend. Framing your response with context and a summary of the issue shows you can think on your feet and communicate with precision. Even when sharing good news, like a team achievement, framing the context and focusing on outcomes keeps your audience engaged and appreciative. The golden rule? Make the first minute count. By setting clear expectations and summarizing your points effectively, you lay the groundwork for communication that's both efficient and impactful. As you apply these techniques across emails, meetings, and instant messages, you'll notice a marked improvement in how your messages are received and acted upon. By mastering these strategies, you'll ensure every message you send is designed for understanding and action. The result? More productive conversations, stronger professional relationships, and a reputation as someone who gets things done. So, the next time you hit send or step into a meeting, remember, clarity is king, and timing is everything. Your workplace communication is about to level up. In summary, in today's fast-paced workplace, effective communication is the cornerstone of success. This book dives into the art of crafting clear, concise, and impactful messages across every platform: emails, meetings, instant messages, and more. It emphasizes the importance of making the first minute count, whether you're framing a conversation, structuring a summary, or validating your audience's availability. By mastering techniques like the GPS method, goal, problem, solution, and time checks, you'll transform your communication style from confusing to compelling. The book highlights the power of structured communication, showing how a well-crafted email subject line, a focused meeting agenda, or a concise instant message can prevent misunderstandings and save time. It's not about saying less, it's about saying it better. From escalating issues to sharing good news, every interaction benefits from clarity and purpose. As Maya Angelou once said, "People will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel." With these strategies, you'll leave your audience feeling informed, empowered, and ready to act. One of the key takeaways is the importance of framing. By starting every conversation with context, intent, and a key message, you set the stage for productive dialogue. Whether you're pitching an idea, updating your team, or answering tough questions, this approach ensures your message lands with precision. The book also stresses the value of validation checkpoints, confirming your audience's availability and understanding before diving into details. It's a small step that makes a big difference, showing respect for others' time and attention. The GPS method is a game changer for distilling complex ideas into actionable insights. By defining the goal, articulating the problem, and proposing a solution, you create a roadmap that guides your audience through even the most intricate topics. This method works across all communication formats, from formal presentations to casual chats. As Albert Einstein wisely noted, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." This book equips you with the tools to simplify without oversimplifying, making your messages both accessible and impactful. By applying these techniques, you'll not only improve your communication skills but also enhance your professional reputation. You'll become known as someone who gets to the point, respects others' time, and drives meaningful outcomes. The book encourages readers to practice these strategies in real-world scenarios, from crafting emails to leading meetings, ensuring that every interaction is purposeful and productive. Thank you for joining me on this journey to master the art of workplace communication. Your commitment to learning and growing is what makes this knowledge so powerful. As you take these strategies back to your teams and colleagues, remember the words of Margaret Mead, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." By spreading these insights, you're not just improving communication, you're building stronger, more connected workplaces. And now, To leave you with a smile, why don't skeletons fight each other? Because they don't have the guts. Thank you for coming back, sharing this knowledge, and making every conversation count. Until next time, keep communicating clearly, and don't forget to laugh along the way.